Two stories of homeowners shooting a teen and killing a young adult for going to the wrong address have stunned many around the country. Both suspects in these cases are now charged, but that's hardly easing any of the anger or the grief. Our community's correspondent Gabrielle Hayes begins with this report.
Hundreds of students walked out of Staley High School in Kansas City today to demand justice in the shooting of their fellow classmate, Ralph Yarl. Authorities say an 84-year-old white man shot the black teenager Thursday night after Yarl mistakenly went to his home to pick up his younger brothers. The homeowner, Andrew Lester, has now been charged with 2 felony counts, including first-degree assault. He was taken into custody today. Yarl was shot in the head and the arm. The 16-year-old was not carrying a weapon and didn't cross the man's threshold. Yarl's aunt, Faith Spoonmore, described the terrifying incident.
He looked my nephew in the eye, told him, "Don't ever come back here again," while he shot him in the head. My nephew fell to the ground and he shot him again.
Yesterday, Clay County prosecutors confirmed there was a racial component to the shooting, but did not elaborate. Yarl is now recovering at home after being hospitalized. Lee Merritt is the Yarl family's attorney.
His prognosis long-term is guarded based on the significance of this kind of traumatic brain injury. However, how well he is doing is in fact miraculous, and we are excited about the progress that he has made.
Meanwhile, in upstate New York, outrage is growing in a separate homeowner shooting. 65-year-old Kevin Monahan has been charged in the death of a white woman looking for a friend's house. 20-year-old Kaylin Gillis was riding with friends Saturday when they made a wrong turn on Monahan's property. Washington County Sheriff Jeff Murphy said she was shot while they were trying to turn the car around in the driveway.
Once they determined that they were at the wrong house, the subject came out on his porch for whatever reason and fired 2 shots, one of which struck the vehicle that Kaylin was in.
The shooting took place in a rural town with limited cell phone service, so Gillis's friends had to drive to a neighboring town to call 911. After initially resisting, Monahan was taken into custody and booked for second-degree murder. As anger mounts in upstate New York, back in Kansas City, Ralph Yarl supporters are holding a rally to condemn his shooting and cheer on his recovery. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Gabrielle Hayes.
Activists are calling for hate crimes charges to be filed in Ralph Yarl's shooting. Meanwhile, late today, the suspect in the case was released on bond. Joining me now is Kansas City Mayor Quinton Lucas. Mayor Lucas, welcome to the NewsHour, and thank you for joining us. First and foremost, I know you've been in touch with Ralph Yarl's family. What can you tell us about how they're doing and how Ralph is doing?
Ralph so far has had an absolutely miraculous recovery. I know there are many more steps ahead, but to have been shot in the head and shot a second time by this defendant and be out of the hospital by now is absolutely miraculous. So I know that at least physically they're holding up. I think mentally there will be an ongoing challenge for this young man who had seemingly everything going for him in the world and who was struck by this unimaginable incident.
What about people in your community? I mean, the idea that a teenager could be shot just for showing up at the wrong house is a horrifying notion for parents, especially for parents of Black children. How is this resonating in Kansas City?
Terribly. I mean, it's terrifying for everyone. This is one of those things that either for me in public service, I feel like for those of y'all in journalism, that you wake up with in the middle of the night, that you worry. You know, I was looking at my door at my home, and I was just thinking, how can somebody think that it's just right to shoot out front through their door with 2 locked doors, by the way? And the fact that this defendant said basically he was scared of this kid. And it's what leads to the conversation about race, which I think is very much a part of this. It leads to the broader concerns about the fact that guns and guns everywhere is literally killing our country. And so the question we ought to ask at some point is, as we expand stand your ground laws and possession laws for anyone and no red flags for those who shouldn't have guns, when do we stop? How many Ralphs get shot? How many people are harmed? That to me is the concern.
Mayor Lucas, what else can you tell us about Andrew Lester, the 84-year-old man who was charged in the shooting. We know he was charged yesterday, taken into custody late this afternoon, and then, as we just heard, recently released on bond. There were a lot of questions about why he wasn't taken into custody sooner. What's your understanding of why that unfolded the way it did?
Well, I'm learning more as everyone else does too. I mean, he turned himself in. So something that I know concerns a lot of people in the world is that, often when you don't shoot somebody, maybe you don't have the convenience of showing up at the jail actually, whenever you want. But be that as it may, that's what happened today. We'll learn more about that. What we've learned is that he's got a particularly, well, it's not even a well-heeled family. He was able to put $20,000 on to be released. So this man, who I consider to be a risk, at least to Black people in this community, is out on the streets of Kansas City again, is out and available. And, I don't think the age is an excuse. If what he claims is fear is just seeing a Black boy who is taller than him, then he's afraid of about 75,000 people in my city. I find that to be concern, and I think that this is something that hopefully, as we go through this prosecution and get a conviction, hopefully it's something that does lay a basis for, if not expanded hate crime charges, then certainly a very clear conviction.
The prosecutor has said clearly that Ralph did not cross the threshold into the home. You mentioned the so-called stand your ground law. Do you believe that could be used as a defense in this case?
I believe they'll use several different laws in Missouri, one of which is the castle doctrine that exists in most states, that you can protect your home, it's your castle, and if you have some apprehension, then you can shoot somebody, usually who comes within it, though. I think any other principles of self-defense are likely. The concern that I have is that because we've expanded so many of these self-defense laws, so not only do you just have the right to protect yourself in your home, which has been around for a while, you can go outside your home, you can go outside your car, you can, as we saw with the Trayvon Martin tragedy, you can pick a fight with someone, and if you think you're going to lose, then you can still kill them. I mean, it's out of control. And I expect every one of these defenses to be raised. And that's why I think you are seeing people in my community, even after charges are filed, say, we got to do more at the state legislature and in more places, addressing racism and addressing guns in our country.
Mayor Lucas, in the minute or so we have left, we are talking about a 16-year-old kid here. His parents said he loved video games and music. He excelled in school. His life has been forever changed, the life of his family, of his twin younger brothers who he was going to pick up. You've said that you want to see justice in this case. So what does justice look like to you?
It is very hard, I guess, because justice for the family is a conviction here. I see that they have a GoFundMe going. I hope it's compensation. I hope it's a lawsuit against this gentleman. It's him taking care of his life. But broader, justice is allowing Black people in our country to feel like they are not, in some ways, criminals with everything they do. Driving while Black. Now, what? Knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell while Black. Shouldn't be a thing that people worry about. So justice is for a lot more people than just this family. It's for our whole community. And we'll have to fight to try to get it.
That is Mayor Quinton Lucas of Kansas City, Missouri, joining us tonight. Mayor Lucas, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.